YouTube, welcome back to another video. It's been a while since I picked up the DJI and brought it with me. Now a lot has changed since the last video. It's been a few weeks, I believe. I've just woken up. It is 7:15, which for my body clock is 5:15 in the morning, because as you may be able to notice, I'm not at home, I'm in Cyprus. We are here for a month, and I thought, what a better way to restart picking up the camera than out here in Cyprus. And I thought, you know what, I'll try and create some form of series of my life with training, with work, just generally picking the camera up, giving some value, and it better than me sat behind a Loom video talking through a Canva presentation. So it's 7:15. This is the weather at the moment. It's a little bit overcast, but it is November, and we're about to head out on a 6K run. Start the week is Monday. Got here Saturday night. A little bit struggled to sleep because it's 2 hours ahead here. So last night I went to bed at 10, which for my body clock is 8 o'clock. Which is stupidly early. Fell asleep. Woke up about an hour and a half later, wide awake. So I didn't get to sleep again until about 12:30, maybe 1, which is less than ideal, but hopefully the body is adjusting, and we can obviously get used to being up at this sort of time, because I do want to go through and make this time in Cyprus very productive. I don't like the word locked in, because to me it's just called being disciplined, and I'm going to talk you through how to build a bit of discipline, how to have a little bit of how to have a set of whatever you want to call it, and stick to what you say you're going to do. Which for me now is a 6K run when I don't really fancy it. I went out for some food last night on my own, chicken tikka, rice, a little bit dodgy on the stomach, I have to say, but we're going to head out nonetheless, go down the front, double back, and then Monday is a big day because I like to get the run done, and then I can sit for a good few hours getting everything set up work-wise. I use Monday to kickstart the week, all my content planning, creating, etc. So I'm going to take you through a full day, how I set about my routine at the moment, how to get the most out of it all, and see how we get on for the remainder of the day. Alright, there we have it. 6K ticked off. That was a lot harder than it should have been. The running at the moment is not the one. Heart rate's high, legs feel heavy, and no enjoyment at all. That was just meant to be like a 6K, go off how I feel sort of thing. Normally I do intervals, but even that was tough. I'm not a fan of the run at the moment, but I'm a couple of kilos heavier, and I'm not training for anything, so I think mentally the runs to get up and do are a lot harder because I'm not training for anything. So it is what it is. It's now 8 o'clock. Go to the shop, get some water, get some Lucozade, and crack on with the day. We're back. It's now 9 AM. We've done our run, got some fluids on board, I've showered. I'm just about to have breakfast, which 4 eggs, some sourdough which looks hella dry. However, keeping the meal lightish because I'm about to do my biggest work block of the day. So the last thing I want to be doing is consuming high amounts of carbohydrates, which is then going to cause me to have a little bit of a drop off in energy, let's say. I noticed that, and for a lot of other people, when we have a big carbohydrate meal, it's going to slow us down, increase brain fog. So I like to keep my meal light. I still want some carbohydrates to help replenish the glycogen that I would have used during my run. Protein with eggs, obviously. And then I've reintroduced coffee. That's some pure shit from source. I did 11 days no caffeine because my heart rate when running's high, which is still high at the moment, which is less than ideal, but I am a couple of kilos heavier. So I am 83 kilos as opposed to around the 80 to 81 mark at the start of September, but it's not like a huge amount. And my blood pressure was quite high. So it's something I was monitoring. So I thought I'll just take caffeine out. Took caffeine out, took blood pressure every day, took my body weight every day, kept it linear, and noticed no change, to be honest. I think nothing had changed from removing caffeine at all. So I thought, okay. The other reason why I stopped taking caffeine was because I was just become so tolerant to it. It was a case of I could have 2-3 cups of coffee a day and not really feel anything from it. So I would almost feel tired after consuming caffeine. So I want to use it as a tool. So I'm going to have 1 cup of coffee per day. It's going to be placed around when I want that bit of focus, a bit more of a cognitive enhancement, which caffeine can produce. So that's why I'm going to have it. Eat this first, let it digest, have the coffee, start some work in the next sort of 10-15 minutes, and then do a couple of hours. On a Monday, I like to get all content planned. I'll go through sort of how my week looks, how I structure my week, because obviously with working for myself and working abroad, etc., it can be quite easy to be distracted, not have any discipline, follow any sort of routine. Just notice I've got half a underarm missing. It can be hard to sort of stick to sort of a schedule, and it definitely can be. I've definitely noticed that. However, I've sort of now managed to find what works best for me. I think constant breaks, a bit of fresh air definitely helps, hence coming out to Cyprus. Weather's good, I'm near the sea, makes me feel happy, makes me in a better mood. My environment is everything, so that's why I'm out here making the most of it. So I'm going to eat this before it gets cold. I'm going to crack on with some work. I'll then show you how I schedule my week, and then probably around the next sort of 2 to 3 hours, probably about midday, I'm going to head back down to the front on a walk and get a decaf coffee, because I still enjoy the taste. Get a decaf iced coffee, which I had yesterday, and see how we get on. But for now, meal 1, 4 eggs, 2 slices of sourdough bread, coffee, and work. I'll see you at lunch. Okay, people, it's now just coming up to 10:30, so approaching 60 minutes of work. I like to just do sort of a 60-minute block. I'm going to sit outside 15 minutes just to give myself a little bit of a break, because otherwise I notice that more I sit and do work, I'll then try and do work, and it's not really that productive because I end up not doing what I need to be doing. So an hour, 15-minute break, repeat. However, I wanted to just run through how I set up my week with work, with training, with routine. It looked pretty full on, and don't get me wrong, this just gives me more of an outline, and there will be bits that can change and bits that might be different, but this just gives you a general gist of what a week would look like. Okay, so if I flip it around on the old Google Calendar, so like I say, this is all basically as a example. I've got a few things that are set in stone, and then a few things that can sort of move in and out. So in the mornings, you can see every morning, 7:30 till 8:30 will either be a run, or on the days that I go to the gym, which will be Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I'm going to walk down to the front, jump in the sea, and then walk back. So that'll take me about an hour. Just a little bit of cold exposure and a good way to start the day. Then come back for about 8:30, we'll do work block 1. So with this, I will typically, like today will be a little bit different because I started a little bit later, so I'll probably not go out until about 12 o'clock instead of 11. But you can see here, I'll then go out midday, go for a walk, get some lunch, do a food shop, come back, nap, because that's essential, especially as I'm up early. And recently, my energy levels have been on the floor. So I'm looking at a few things with that from a more of a health professional advice perspective. But I know my sleep isn't great, but that's a whole another issue. But the nap might happen, it might not. It more than likely will. And then you can see this afternoon, work block 2. I'll then try and get out again on a little walk, watch the sunset, come back for an hour, wrap up the day, and then 6:30 till 9 is just doing whatever I wish to do. So you can see across the week, it's pretty much the same. The only days that are different, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, is I'll do my walk, C-dip, do some work, and then instead of going for a walk, I will go to the gym at about 11. I'll do my session, which is probably about an hour, and then I'll go for a walk down the front, probably grab a protein shake, enjoy a bit of sun, come back, and then crack on with some work. Tuesdays I have a call, 4 till 5, and then in the evenings, every day, I'll go on another walk for an hour or so. So plenty of steps, and then the weekend, Saturday, I don't do any work, it's just gym, coffee and breakfast, but again, that can be a little bit sporadic in terms of timing. And then on a Sunday, I'll do a C-dip in the morning, and then I'll plan out the week in the evening time for an hour or so. But that is typically how a week is going to be looking out here. Like I said, at the moment, I'm trying to just find a routine, see what suits me best, especially with this energy deficiency that I've got. I'm just always tired. I know my sleep's poor. It has been for a while, so I feel like I'm in a massive amount of sleep debt, which is why my fatigue is just so high, and why at the moment with the running, like today, 6K, I've noticed that if I do like my intervals or a longer run, it just wipes me out. Like, I'm done for the day, which is not ideal. So that's where we're at. Whereas the gym I don't find too bad, but you know, if I can add a nap in, then great, because it does give me that little bit more of a boost going into the afternoon. So mornings with work, more creative, more demanding tasks. Lunch, walk, come back in the afternoon. It's a little bit more client fulfillment. It might be like editing. It might be things that, it could even be like education, you know, different courses that I'm on, just doing some education over certain topics. But ultimately in the morning when I have the most amount of energy, that's when I want to utilise my creativity and my spark of an artist. I don't know where that came from. So that's the plan, that's where we're at. I'm going to do another hour and a half. I'm going to sit outside for a bit, do another hour work, head outside, get some fresh air. It's 24 degrees and decaf iced Americano. I was going to say por favor, but that is Spanish. So see you when we're walking down the front. Okay, it's now 1:45, which is a little bit later than I anticipated. However, I was in a pretty good flow with work, so I just carried on for a little bit. I'm a bit tired though. That run has absolutely knocked me for 6 and I had an awful night's sleep. So I thought I'd get out, go and get a decaf coffee. It might be a normal one. Little walk down the front. It's a little bit overcast, but it is 26 degrees. So a bit of fresh air, walk down the front. I've got my AirPods, put a podcast on and go from there. Okay, we're back from the walk. Just need to get a little bit of fresh air, get outside, get a little bit of sun, although a little bit overcast, I do have to say. And there was rain, which is not ideal. However, it is now just gone 2:10, so I'm into an afternoon sort of work block of such. I noticed that in the afternoon, my creativity is probably not as much. Although saying that, I just went to listen to a podcast on my walk and I've come back with some really good ideas. So what I'm going to do is I've got some content that I want to film, purely because, without sounding big-headed, I have a fair bit of education. Oh, hello, Lion. I have a fair bit of knowledge and education when it comes to training, especially hybrid training, strength, endurance, nutrition, recovery, even like mindset, discipline. So I want to create more educational talking on Instagram Reels without it being boring and without it being the same as every other coach. So that is the plan this afternoon. If I just show you the setup, this will probably be me for the next 2-3 hours. Like I said before, I think I've tried the whole work all day, every day, don't leave the house, and I know people that are very much like that, and if that works for them, that's great. Just Josh, who I lived in Barcelona with, he could literally sit at his laptop for 10 hours a day and just work through. Fair play, but for me, I think probably the reason why I was a personal trainer was because I like to be up, out, moving, engaging with people, Obviously the online stuff's still similar to that, however, you don't have that get up and it can be just very much a desk job. However, it gives me the locational freedom, which is allowing me to live in places like Cyprus, which is absolutely fantastic. So what I am doing now is I've just released the Hybrid Athlete Blueprint. So this is basically a course all on hybrid training. I know I've been speaking about it a lot in the Loom videos that I do. However, 6 lessons, each one has 6 modules, all have multiple lessons inside with downloadable resources. And honestly, for the price, it's unbelievable. It's £99 at the moment, which gives you everything that you need for hybrid training. The point is you watch it, you can do everything and take it away with you. So I'm just finalising, make sure everything's up and running. I've had a few people join as it went live today. So I'm just sort of saying hello, introduce yourself, etc. So keep an eye on that. And then I've got some scripts that I'm writing for Talking Head Reel videos. The first one is, here is why you're not a hybrid athlete. And it's going to start off with, you're not a hybrid athlete just because you run and go to the gym. Got to hook them in, you see. So yeah, write some scripts. I'm then going to find a good bit of lighting. I'm going to film them. And then normally sunset is about 5 p.m, but it's so cloudy today, I can't see the sunset being that prominent. So I'm going to go for a walk a little bit later on, grab some bits from the shop, dinner, wrap up the day, and then have a few hours of chilling out before bed. So yeah, this is the plan for the rest of this afternoon. And yeah, we'll see how we get on. Okay, people, it's now 6 p.m. I'm just wrapping up the day, turn the laptop off. Didn't get around to filming any talking head reels. I'm going to do that tomorrow instead. I just went down a tangent of doing some other tasks. So spent the last 4 hours sat here really. Bit of warm, other than going to the toilet because I've drank 2 of these. So me and my bladder have been, my bladder's been full a lot. So that is where we're at. Wrap up the day. Like I say, I was trying to wrap up the days that I spoke about earlier at like 5:30. It's 6 o'clock. So the whole schedule, it just gives me a template. If I'm in a good flow, I'll push. Earlier on this morning, I needed that walk because I was just shattered. I think poor sleep, the run, a few of the bits, that was just not good. So getting out the fresh air has allowed me to then sort of push on and get everything done. So overall, good day. Planned out tomorrow, which is something I definitely recommend. Like plan out your tomorrow the night before. So then when I wake up tomorrow, do what I need to do. I know exactly what my tasks are, what my non-negotiables are, when I'm training, and everything else. So that is where we're at. Now, 6 o'clock, I've not had any dinner. The last thing I ate was some Greek yogurt with banana and honey about 3 o'clock, so about 3 hours ago. So I'm going to walk down to the front. There's a supermarket down there. I'm going to grab some chicken. I'm going to grab some peppers. I'm going to grab some rice and maybe like a little sauce just to mix it all together. And that's going to be my dinner. And I'll probably cook some extra for tomorrow. So I've got something that I can have once I finish the gym. So that's where we're at. I'm going to head down. I'll bring the camera along, show you what it looks like in the evening, all lit up, although it's probably not going to be all that exciting. So that's where we're at. But then I'm going to come home, eat, wrap up the day, chill out, watch some Monday night football. The thing is, in Cyprus, I'm 2 hours ahead. So it's a little bit annoying because being 2 hours ahead means the Premier League kickoff is 8 o'clock, which is 10 o'clock here, and I'll be asleep. So I'll find something on Netflix, murder documentary, or something along those lines, and yeah, we'll catch up with you then. And there we have it, people. I didn't take the camera with me because I did, but it's just too dark. It's 7:30. We're wrapping up the day. I only just realised I can turn this light on, which is ideal. In terms of where I'm staying, I'll do a little tour. So, got the front door here, which you would walk through. So, got the kitchen here, my dinner, which is some chicken, 2 wraps and some salad. Here is where I do my work. However, I sit and eat on this chair. I sit and do work in this chair. I try and keep them different, okay? Then got the living room area, sofa, another little, so 3 sofas for 1 man, a television that has not been used. Then through here we've got the spare room, which I've just put my clothes on, the bathroom, which is new, which is very nice. It has not looked like that when I used to come here years ago. It definitely did not look like that. And then my bedroom with my bed still made. Home sweet home. I've put the fan on to keep the room nice and cool. And that's, wait, I'm just gonna wrap the video up there. I've got a balcony out here which you can't see, but you would have seen before. I know I've filmed here twice in the past, but not actually given a tour of the gaff. So yeah, we are going to have dinner. Like I say, chicken wraps, put some YouTube on, and that is pretty much a day ticked off. A good day. I was pretty happy with how the day went, how it panned out. First one. Tomorrow's slightly different with the routine. I'm going to go for a walk and a sea dip as opposed to the run. So come back after that, do some work, film my reels, do some programming that I need to change, and then go to the gym and train upper body, which should be good. So there we are. I'm going to try and do 2 videos a week. I've planned out all these videos. Well, I've given a title for about 8 videos. I'll just pick up the camera, go along with the flow, see what I get up to. Because like I've said, I'm quite boring because I'm here for at least 4 weeks, and I've even brought like going out clothes because I don't really plan on going out. I just plan on living here how I would do at home. And I don't normally go out. I'll go for breakfast, I'll go for meals out, but not out. So there we are. But no, I'm gonna sort of take you along with what I get up to, training, work, nutrition, and everything in between. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to give it a like, subscribe, and I will see you on the next one.